Hello, hello! I have returned to social media. Oh my god, hasn't it been the longest time? Have you felt that void without me? It's not like I have a real much of a fan base yet, but I will. Best believe I will. Um, I've loved it. I've loved the hiatus. I've tried to pick the camera back up and vlog again at least 12 times maybe now. Um, but every single time I do it, such an intention to start a video, and then it kind of, that's it. I just pick it up and I go, so glad to be back, and then stop. So I've been watching a lot of Elliot as a cool guy. I've been watching Gadaim, and really inspiring in a weird way, and it really gets me through wanting to be productive and stuff. And I thought I could do this. Actually, my friend Alfred, who always has to hear me talk, and he says, "Beau, you talk so much shit. You should start a podcast where you talk by yourself. You should start your own version of Gadaim." So this is it. Alfred's even tried to move away from me, and I'm following him. In September, I'm moving to where he's gone to. I'm going to hunt him down. But in the meantime, I'm going to record this. And I think it's a perfect way to ease me back into the social media world. I even deleted social media. I didn't just get off posting. I completely got away from it. Because I just got tired, Like, 2 weeks ago, it was actually nearly a month ago was my last vlog posted, but about 2 weeks ago I actually deleted it, and I re-downloaded some of it to research where I'm traveling and kind of just like catch up on the world, and I hated it. I was genuinely like a little bit depressed for like half an hour afterwards, and I was like, why am I sad? Like, sometimes having an insight on what people are posting is just not needed, which is ironic because all that I want to do is become a social media personality, or just generally a world personality, but that's through socials. So a hypocrite. I'm an absolute hypocrite. But yeah, I don't miss it. I mean, the only thing I did re-download it for, which is the best thing ever, is anything and everything to do with wrestling and the WWE. It was WrestleMania weekend at the start of April, and I re-downloaded it to watch all of the YouTubers and watch all of the interviews. Then I deleted it again. But I hadn't had TikTok or Instagram for ages. If I had to use it, I'd go on desktop for Instagram stories. But I was pretty much inactive. And yeah, I kind of needed it, I think. And I've deleted them again. I re-downloaded them thinking I was going to keep it. But no, absolutely not. I think I'll bring them back for little bursts if I need them for like a few hours for whatever reason, and then delete them again. I'm much better off without them. Don't need them regularly on my phone. But yeah, how's everybody doing? I'm so excited to start this. I actually did film an episode of this already, and it was great, but I had lists of topics I thought I could talk about on this podcast, and instead of thinking, I'll talk about a couple on episode 1 and then a couple on episode 2, I just ran through all like 15 in about 20 minutes, which means every single thing was like, so I really like this. Yeah, okay, next, and then I'd move on. So I've decided to re-record and just narrow in on about 4 and spend sort of between 5 and 10 on each, and let it drag out a bit. But yeah, loved not being on social media. And also, I really suggest this for YouTube. I think YouTube's an amazing platform. I think it's got so much potential for what it can bring to you. It obviously, with like the introduction of shorts, has also brought that short attention scrolling thing. But I think YouTube's the best avenue for engagement. So when I started this channel, I've used it to only subscribe to people and things that I genuinely think will like inspire me from a day to day. So like I love Elliot. Elliot is a cool guy, he's great. Casey Neistat is the Lord and Savior to most filmmakers on YouTube, and you can see exactly what he's done for everybody else. That you can see Casey Neistat and most filmmakers on YouTube. Colt Kerwin only got like 100k subscribers, insane, and that's just a few. I could keep going, and I want to keep finding out more of these people and subscribing to more. So yeah, I go on my desktop sometimes because you can't really go on shorts as easily, and I love it, and that's inspiring, and I'm really enjoying that. And that's the kind of direction, if I'm going to use social media, I wanted to use it for. Instagram having just my For You page almost full of graphic design stuff, I loved, and that lasted for a while. And then one day I was really hungry, and I was watching loads of food stuff, and then that ruined it, and then I deleted it. So yeah, I genuinely think that the break from social media is something that everybody should take, and now I've taken it. I don't really want it back properly. Although when I'm going traveling and I meet people and they're gonna go, "Oh, can I have your socials?" and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I don't use it." That's really been a hindrance on talking to people that I met in Amsterdam. I just have been so bad at replying to them, which is such a shame because I'd like to keep that world alive. But yeah, so this is my podcast. This is episode 1 of Beau Never Stops Talking, and this episode is called The One Night Jan, because my name's Beau Jan, and it's a beautiful play on words. And also, you should try and incorporate a little Jan into your life. Throwing Jan at the end of anything is the best thing ever. You know, like institution, reception. I mean, sometimes it works better than others. For example, pod Jan. Nope, doesn't work. See, it just doesn't work. But it can. It almost always can. So yeah. I think I'm going to use this as a place to announce where I'm going traveling. And I think I'm going to say it right now. I am going to Montreal and Canada in general. I think I'm going to go spend a week in Vancouver as well. I'm going to get a train. I'm going to spend the money, get the big old train. I also love being on a train, and I just think it'd be a vibe. I think it also splits up. I'm doing 5 weeks, so I'm going to do 2 weeks in Montreal, then 1 week in Vancouver, and then about 2 more weeks in Montreal again. So it's gonna like perfectly cut it in the middle. I can't wait. Montreal, I can speak the bare minimum of French, but I'm gonna go do hostel hopping. Hopefully, I'll meet some lovely people. That should be really fun. I'm very, very, very excited, and I'm going kind of soon. And I'm not prepared enough, but I'm very excited. I'm excited for the next adventure. I'm excited to sort of add some more stories to my life, and I'm excited to leave Europe. I have never, ever, ever left Europe. And I need to. I think it's just such a tiny part of the world. I need to really explore. I mean, Europe is not tiny, but you know what I mean. So I can't wait. The music scene out there is great. The jazz scene's out there great. There's so much to offer in Canada. And also, I want to be able to go to bars. I want to be able to do some drinking, do some partying, and you can't do that in America. And I've only heard amazing things about Canada. So Canada it is. And as for New York, until I'm 21, I think, is not going to go to New York until then. But I nearly did. That was nearly what I was going to do. I thought, do you know what? Amsterdam is as expensive as New York. Why not go there? I've been dabbling with it for years. At points in my life, I've wanted to live there. And I feel like every single filmmaker, graphic designer, that's their vibe. That just is. Like, it's so on market, especially if you're a filmmaker, because everyone wants to be like Casey Neistat. So, yeah. Very excited. I'm excited to fall in love with another place. Falling in love with a city is such a beautiful feeling and such a lovely thing. Like, I'm always going to be connected to Amsterdam now. So if I ever want to go back, that's a city that I absolutely adore. And I hope that'll be the same for Montreal or maybe Vancouver. You know, I might do the week in Vancouver and think, shit, I need to stay. Who knows? So that's going to be really fun. I'm very excited for that. Excited for the stories, and I'm going to bring all of you guys along with me. That's why I want to start filming again. I want to start talking to the camera. I want to start broadcasting this because my life's about to get really interesting and finally leave that cycle, because that cycle has been brutal and pretty much daily, and me doing things daily and the same thing over and over has nearly nullified my creativity. However, I've taken a spin and I've gotten really into my graphic design and actually really, really, really into my fitness. Yeah, I like run every day now, and I love it. There's not an awful lot, I run pretty much the same route. I've been running since Amsterdam, pretty much all of this year, and I've lost 1.5 stone, which I don't know how many pounds. I think if you do weigh in pounds, it was like 170 to 155, I want to say, but I could not say that's for sure. It was 12 stone 4 to 10 stone 8 or something. So it's a good weight loss. Pretty happy with it. Still going for sure. I want to be like in the best shape I could possibly be in. I just think, you're only 19 once. Might as well look it and look the part. So that's what's going on, and I'm loving it. I didn't think getting in shape would be so fine. It's not difficult. I mean, every now and again, like yesterday, my mum baked a fucking fresh batch of cookies. Like, you couldn't make it up how amazing. And I come in from my run, and she's literally putting it out of the oven, steam coming off, and I was like, and it was like 9 o'clock. I don't know who does that. An evil person, right? I mean, the nicest evil person you'll ever meet, a mum who's bringing out cookies. But yeah, anyway, so I'm staring at them and going, no. And she turns around, she goes, what are you doing, mate? And I was like, well, I can't eat these. And she was like, why not? And I was like, I've kind of eaten all my like food for the day. It's 9 o'clock. I can't eat cookies. Anyways, I did break and I ate one. And it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. I was having a great time. Had a glass of milk. Yeah. But extra hard on the run today. I think it's the way to make up for it. But yeah. So the weight loss thing and the health life has been fun. It's been good. It's a lot less drinking, a lot less going out to the pub. But I've realised I can go out to the pub and not drink and have just as good of a time. So that's something I'm trying to get better with. And I will try and remember for summer. Because you don't always need it. So that'll be great. Loving it. Looking forward to seeing how I get back from Canada. I'm not gonna stop running in Canada. I'm gonna find some beautiful routes. It's so green and lovely in Montreal. I bet there's some amazing running routes. So I will very much look forward to that. And it's just gonna be wild. It's nice to sort of talk about it. I think there's a lot of things as I came back to Bath with my vlogs that I did wrong, and I think not telling you guys what I was trying to figure out and plan maybe it was a bad idea, because I could have got some lovely engagement with people. So yeah, I think those vlogs work so well on my openness, like that's very much me on camera. I'm not trying to play myself up or anything. So I'm gonna try and keep that and be maybe more genuine with that as things go on. I do want to get a bit better at playing up a character, though. I think I want to do I love doing my vlogs. I'm going to keep doing these as well. These are great. And obviously doing the weekly Jeanne music talk and stuff, which I'll bring back. That's really cool. And that's sort of practicing my radio presenting. And because I did the radio interview in Amsterdam and I loved it. And I thought, this could be something, hosting radio shows, hosting. I always like the idea of being a host on like a talk show. I think that'd be amazing. And I thought this could really be something that I do. So that's kind of what that is like a practice of that, and practicing me as a presenter almost, talking about other people, not trying to do it myself a little bit. So I will keep going with that, but I would like to do some more videos which are more playing up a character a bit, and building Bojan up as a character, which is obviously my actual name, but I almost think it sounds like a character name. So, yeah, I plan to keep on that going. I want to talk about design a little bit. I've been designing a lot in this like hiatus from film. I've basically began with designing a present for my friend, who's a very dear friend of mine, who was actually in their last vlog, Shah, who I went to go visit in Leeds, and it was her birthday, and I basically made her a bunch of designs and almost like a picture book just to do with our friendship, and it was lovely. And it was just, I made some really quirky stuff. She's a big fan of Stephen Rhodes, so I did a lot of sort of styles of stuff like him, which was super groovy, and I just had a great time. It was super niche stuff, but it was a nice like focus for designing again, and also finally navigating Illustrator, which you'd be shocked that I did 4 years of graphics design education without doing Illustrator, and going to university next year, only just now getting the ropes of it. I'm not proud of it, but I'm glad that I'm finally getting it going. Better late than never. So, yeah, that was great. And then I moved on from that, and there's something I've genuinely always wanted to do, and I think it's a project that maybe sounds like it's a lot longer and harder than it is, but about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now, I started making my own playing cards. On the Wednesday pub nights, we all go out. We all play a card game you may have heard of called Shithead. I think there's another name for it, but Shithead is the one that I'm sticking with anyway. And it is an amazing card game, and I always love playing card games at the pub. Cheat as well, brilliant game. And I was like, I want to design my own, and I want them to be very unique. And I've seen custom like decks of cards on Pinterest and on, I mean, to be fair, just Pinterest and Instagram, yeah, and I love them, but I wanted to do something very specific to me, that kind of really builds on what I love and how I design and my style and who I am, and it really gets to sort of work in something as a huge theme. I did a zine last summer, and I loved working and trying to keep all these designs looking like each other, and doing that with this set of cards was, again, I think, really important skill to know and not have it all look the same. You know, like my zine looks nothing like these deck of cards. It's a different style of design, and I think that's really cool, really important, and self-motivating projects. I think it's part of the thing that got me into the uni that I've gotten into, because I don't know, not everyone can do it, so I really enjoy that. And yeah, and it's if you've ever seen the movie Nacho Libre with Jack Black in it, watch it. It's a Mexican wrestling themed movie, and I watched that movie so much as a kid. The CDs got so scratched, like, just from playing it, and also I guess I was a little kid, so I probably held him and, you know, rustle and tussle, but just with the CD, and it got scratched so much we had to buy another one, and another one, and another. I literally got through so many of those CDs. I think I used to just watch that film on repeat, like people rewatch sitcoms nowadays. It was just me on that movie 24/7. I thought I need to pay homage to my love of wrestling and my love of Nacho Libre. So these cards are themed around Mexican wrestling and Nacho Libre. So my Nacho Libre influence comes with the Queen, King, and Jack, being Nacho Libre, Jack Black's character. The Queen being the nun, which is so embarrassing that I watched this film so much and I can't remember her name. That says a lot. But anyways, forgotten. And Ramses, the main bad guy, is the king, and I loved it. Designing all those was really fun. I did bring them back in for the jokers and the ace cards and the big cards, but then 2 through 10, in fact, are just all completely not to do with the movie. Obviously, they fit in theme with the movie. It's all Mexican wrestling themed, and I'm absolutely genuinely chuffed. I'm so proud of how it's turned out, and I'm gonna start selling them. So they're getting distributed right now. I'm trying to figure out who to get them printed with, talking to a bunch of different companies. But I imagine in the next episode of Beau Never Stops Talking, I might have a further update, but it should be in the next couple of weeks. I think when I'm in Canada is probably when they're going to get sent to my house. So I think from Canada, I'm going to do my best to set up some kind of Etsy store, something like that, where they can kind of start getting sold, which would be weird not having my hands on them before I sell them. I'm going to have to take my mum's word for it or take someone's word for it. Although there's not an awful lot of rush, so maybe I can always wait till I get home. I'm not gone for very long. I'm back by June. So, yeah, just coming in for the spring, summertime, which would be great. So that's very exciting, and I want to start selling more stuff as well to do with my design. I really want to, start selling some prints, start selling some zines. I've been making so many zines. I've started book binding. I want to sell some books that I've been making. They're all wacky and unique, and I think supporting independent artists is something I've been doing for a couple of years now, and I absolutely love it. And I think that I want to be a part of the world. I don't want to just make stuff just to put it in my drawer and go, wow, that was a lovely project. I want to sell it. I want people to read it. I want people to engage with it. I think a big thing that wrestlers always try and do, and you've perfected the art if you've done it, is if you make people feel something. You write a great song and someone feels it. You show them a design and they feel something about it. If people feel something with what you're creating, then you're doing something right. And no one can if I just put it in my drawer or never release a song or never release a film or this podcast. And I think that's my overall goal now. It's just to make people feel things in any way. I think getting emotion across is huge. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I genuinely can't wait. And I think it's long overdue. I was sort of waiting for a point where I was content with the design style and how good I am at designing. And I mean, it's only been 5 years now since I started doing graphic design, and I now feel really confident in what I make and think that people would want to buy it. And yeah, that's huge. And I think I'm glad I waited until I was definitely ready. So yeah. And then the main thing that I've been doing, and the main thing I've been doing pretty much every single day, whilst in this sort of grace period, is Deliveroo to make my money. It's been my money maker. And I made over that grand that I was talking about in those vlogs. very chuffed of that. Very, very, worked hard to get to that grand point. But what I did realize is if I worked harder, I could have made more. For example, tonight, oh God, sorry, the whole lighting just changed. The sun's gone behind a cloud, I think, somewhere. And all of a sudden, it's much darker, much more intense on the Janito. So, I have to bear with. But anyways, I realised this week, from Monday to Monday, I made £366. And I've been doing delivery since, like, March 10th. Sort of just about 10 days, 2 weeks into me getting back. Today is the 16th. I think that it's only been a month, but I think that I could have made a lot more, a lot quicker if I'd maybe stuck with it a bit longer, done that extra hour, started shifts at 5, ended them at 10, like being a bit more intense. The other thing that's been battling with that is the running, though. I sort of run to equal out the delivery, because delivery is no exercise on this e-bike, and it's serious biz. I dearly apologise. My camera decided to stop for a second then. But as I was saying, yeah, Deliveroo, serious biz on the bike. It's just an e-bike, so to keep your running going, keeps the exercise, because it just doesn't count otherwise. And I wouldn't count that as the exercise. And I've pretty much had everyone be lovely. I mean, I live in Bath. I've sort of stated that before on a vlog, so I'm not too precious about that. But Bath is just one of the it's just lovely, and it's so laid back, and not many people are rude. And I've only had like a couple rude customers, and it is what it is, and it's been fine. So generally, a good job, a perfect job for gap year, if you ask me. And it's really been great. I do find that a lot of people hate delivery drivers, and at first I was just like, well, that seems uncalled for. We're just dropping food, we're just doing our thing. But I realized that a lot of them are very intense. Stare over the shoulder of the worker while they're trying to pack the food, like, oh, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? I'm just like, oh my God, like, please leave them alone, like, calm down. And then I'll be at the back just sort of being all smiley. I always try and be as lovely as possible, because these people are genuinely so rude to the people at the restaurant. Like, they really appreciate if you're nice. And God, it is nice, because they really, like, sometimes you smile at someone, you get nothing back. Being positive in this job is the most clear, rewarding thing, because people like me... My camera has just said temperature too hot. This is now the second podcast I've filmed and my camera couldn't keep up. Hold on, I'm going to resume on my phone just to call this the end of the podcast. My God, do you know what? Right, so we're back on the phone. Good. Do you know what? I've got a crack on the camera, so this is why there's a shimmer here. This won't happen next time. But the one thing I do love is having a big screen to actually see what I'm getting up to. I might have to invest in that. It looks like my phone's fooling. Anyways, to round that off, being nice always works out, more or less. So, yeah, most delivery drivers, if you're hearing this, be a bit nicer, because it goes a long way in the shift. And I got to give a big shout out to the Off Menu podcast with Ed Gamble and James Acaster, and Good Dime with Elliot, for absolutely carrying my delivery shifts, because without those, I'd get so bored. And, I always end up feel like I'm talking back to them, even though I'm not. I feel like I'm in the conversation, but just like, really quietly. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to have to call it, because I don't want to film too much on my phone, because the camera quality is all different, and it definitely loses a bit of the magic. For some reason, the Sony A5100 is struggling. It's a vlog camera after all, not a podcast cam, so maybe I should invest in a new camera, but I can't right now. But maybe after Canada. But anyways, I digress. Make sure to look out for some new vlogs coming this week. I'm going to talk about it more for next week. I think a lot of my filming that I do in Bath won't come out until I'm in Canada now, because, to be completely honest, I'm really struggling to pick it back up and start vlogging again. But we'll see. I will see. That's what I'm going to do right now, is plan and start filming some vlogs, and hopefully get back on with that. But yeah, I've absolutely adored this episode. It's been much better than the first round. So this will be episode 1. One Night Stand. Beau Never Stops Talking. And yeah, I'm going to get some guests on. Not people that you would know, necessarily. Just people that I think would be interesting to talk to. Like my dad. My dad is maybe quite possibly one of the most unusual, interesting people ever meet. And yeah, just people who I think I want to see in front of the camera and talk. And, you know, as maybe a bit of a following starts to catch on with anything I do on social media, my music, my design, maybe we'll get some more people of interest. But for now, I'm just having fun. And I'm going to keep having fun. And, yeah, it should be good. I'm going to try and get a couple episodes filmed before I go to Canada. So a few will roll out sort of in this sort of, like, setting, even once I'm there. And I might try and film a few there, but we'll see. But we will see. I don't know what I'm going to bring camera equipment-wise, but yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode. If you made it to the end, then you don't mind if I never stop talking. Or maybe you've tuned me out. People say I have a rhythm. They say it kind of just like flows, and then they kind of lose my voice somewhere along the way. So maybe I've done that. Anyways, thank you so much. I will catch you in the next one. God, I need to work on my outros and intros. How many times can I say hello, hello? It's Janito. Do you know what, though? That works. Hello, hello, it's Janito. Nothing to do with the great Benito from Off Menu. Absolutely nothing to do with it. Goodbye.